What's going on, guys? It is your boy Screens, and today's video is going to be all about the best shooting badges in NBA 2K21. I'm going to rank them on this here tier list. You guys seem to love the tier list videos when I did it for the finishing and defensive badges, so I'm going to do it again for the shooting badges here today. And before we get started, y'all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with those post notifications if you guys are new to the channel, because it does help me out a lot. It does help me, give me motivation to make more content for you guys and stuff like that. And also follow my Twitter, which will be down in the description, to always keep up with me and the channel, and I love interacting with you guys on there as well. Also, the YouTube notification system is horrendous, so if you don't get a YouTube notification on YouTube, I usually always tweet out my videos and my streams and all that other stuff, so you will never miss out on another video/stream if, that's what you care about. But without further ado, let's get right into this video, y'all. So as always, I'm going to go based off of every single archetype. I don't want to restrict this to just, say, for example, point guards or shooting centers or non-shooting archetypes. I'm going to try to get a perfect mixture of both. And yeah, so like I said, I don't even play shooting big this year all that much, so I'm not going to really be biased towards the centers all that much, so I'm just going to roll with it. So the very first badge that I want to talk about here today is range extender. Now, in my opinion, if you have any sort of shooting ability, you need this badge. If that's whether it's you have 10 shooting badges with the 67 3 ball, or you have 30 shooting. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said defensive or shooting. I meant shooting badge. Whether you have 11 shooting badges or if you have 30 shooting badges, you need range extender if you want to be able to shoot the ball. This badge helps in every single aspect of basically on any. It works on any shot. Whether it's your deep three-pointers, your regular three-pointers, your deep mid-ranges, or your close mid-ranges, this badge is going to kick in and give you a boost every single time, which is why you essentially, if you want to have any sort of chance of shooting the ball, you need this badge. It's a must-have. And that's honestly to be said for Hot Zone Hunter. Now, this badge right here is going to be along the same lines as GOAT. This badge, in my opinion, is probably I love Hot Zone Hunter this year. They made Hot Zones different than last year. It's not like a huge it used to be it's shots in a spot within a certain game span. So it's 10 games, 25 shots last year, for example. But now it's a little different. I think they made it way easier to maintain your hot spots and also just keep them in general. So yeah, like I said, if you guys, it's the same thing as range extender. If you want to have any sort of chance of shooting the ball, you guys are going to want to have your hot spots, and you are also going to want to have this badge on. Now, the next badge that I want to talk about right here is going to be the corner specialist badge. Now, this is an okay badge. It's a decent badge to have. I wouldn't usually, I'm going to put it in the, good category, just because I know that there are certain players, say for example you're a spot up, you are going to use, if you're a lockdown, you're going to use corner specialist on the highest that it can go, because typically you're going to be in the corner, you're going to be spacing the floor for your point guard, for your center, just for them to run the pick and roll, and you're going to run this badge on the highest that you can, whether it be gold or Hall of Fame. Now, it's also to be said for your shooting big men, for your play shots, that they are going to use this badge, but they're typically not going to use it on Hall of Fame, which is why I'm not going to put it into the GOAT category, just because the thing that sets these two badges apart is that every archetype, if you want to be able to shoot, is going to have them on the max. I feel like corner specialist is going to be like that for some archetypes, but for others, it's going to be you're going to put it on silver, you're going to put it on bronze, you're going to put it on gold. You're not going to max at Hall of Fame, because you know that you got to have it on other badges as well. You got to have it on different badge points. So that's personally why I feel like it's a good badge, but it's not, the GOAT tier right here. So the other badge that I want to talk about here is Hot Start. Now, I personally believe this is it's varying above the bad and all right. I'm gonna leave it on all right, because I've seen this is a pretty decent badge to have if you're a play shot. I've seen a lot of play shots use this badge. You get one green to go in on your very first shot attempt. I think it kicks in on whites too. I think it's just makes. I don't think it's necessarily just greens. So I'm pretty sure if you just make your first shot then this badge will kick in. And so obviously that's something to have if you have the badges for it. I don't think for like honestly, you could probably use it if you're like a spot up. Maybe on like bronze, maybe on like silver or something like that. I wouldn't necessarily put it on Hall of Fame for any archetype, even if you're a play shot and you have the badges. Just because I feel like it's a gamble. You know, say for example you miss your first shot. Boom, this badge is just completely useless. And if you used 4 badge tiers on it to get it to Hall of Fame, you just wasted 4 badge tiers for an entire game. Which is why I think, you know, it's a good badge to take a risk on, maybe like bronze or silver. But I would personally not run this on anything above above that silver tier. So not like gold or Hall of Fame, which is why it's only all right. The next badge that I want to talk about is the catch and shoot badge. Now, I want to put this badge personally on the good category, only because, in my opinion, now this could honestly, it's bordering GOAT. The only reason I say that it's not GOAT is because the point guard position typically is not going to use this on the max. If you are a spot up or a shooting center or anything like of that sort, you will use this badge on the highest that it can go. The catch and shoot and corner specialist combination for spot ups is lethal. It's something that's been in the game for a while now. People have been using this combination for years. And for shooting centers, if you don't have catch and shoot on for like popping and stuff like that, obviously you're not creating your own shot when you're a shooting center. You're just catching the ball and shooting. So for those two archetypes, the spot ups and the centers, it's perfect. Like, you are going to want to max out this badge. The only reason why, like I said, is not a GOAT category is because the point guards aren't going to have this badge on Hall of Fame. They're not going to have it on Hall of Fame. They're not going to have it on, I think maybe the highest that people would bring this badge up to for a point guard is maybe like silver. I've seen people use it on bronze. I've seen people use it on silver. I've rarely seen play shots go to gold or Hall of Fame with this badge, which is why it's just bordering GOAT, but I'm going to keep it on good for right now. The next badge that I want to talk about here is going to be Deadeye. Now, I think that Deadeye is very important. I think that Deadeye is going to be the same thing as good. The only reason honestly, last year I'd probably put this badge in like GOAT category. But this year, personally, the shot contest system is so bad that you don't really need Deadeye all that much. A lot of guards are giving up Hall of Fame Deadeye for bronze Deadeye, and then, you know, say like gold volume shooter or something. You know, they're using the badge points somewhere else other than Hall of Fame Deadeye. And that has to do with how bad the contest system is in this game. If you're not directly in front of somebody, you are not getting a contest. And it seems that, you know, your 14%, your 20%, your 25% even, you have a very, very high chance of greening it even without, like, Deadeye on. And honestly, I've seen a lot of comp stage guards not use it at all, and they've used it somewhere else. I would still use the badge because I do think that there is a huge difference between having it on and not having it on, but I don't think that it's a Hall of Fame tier badge for every single category. I do think that your shooting centers and your lockdowns are going to want to use this badge just because honestly they don't really have much else to put to use. But for your point guards with such a high 3-ball boost, hot spots, everything else, all these other badges that are working at the same time, your green window is so high to the point, and the contest system is so bad to the point that you don't really need like a high tier Deadeye. It helps, don't get me wrong, but you don't need it. That's exactly what I'm getting at here. So the next badge that I want to talk about is Flexible Release. Now, this badge right here, this is an alright badge, honestly. I've seen 2K Labs did a study on this one. I'm going to leave it on the alright tier. 2K Labs did a test on this badge, and it doesn't work the same way as last year. Last year, if you guys remember Flexible Release was bad. It was not a good badge. The only way that Flexible Release kicked in was if you lated, earlied, very lated, or very early to jump shot. And if you had a one singular brain cell, you were not going to very early or very late a shot on purpose. Like, if there's no way that you were trying to chime your jump shot normally and you would just early or late it. Obviously, last year you would have the glitch earlies and stuff like that, but this year you don't really have to worry about that all that much. This year, it's a different story with Flexible Release. Flexible Release helps on whites, just normal whites. Your full bars, your just white percentages, they're more likely to drop. And your green window actually does go up when having this badge. It's not a huge difference. I think it's maybe like if you have it on Hall of Fame, it's like 2%. But, you know, there is obviously a difference, which is why this badge is way better than what it was last year. The only reason that I put it in the all right category is because it's kind of the same thing as Hot Start. A lot of point guards, you're not going to risk having this badge in Hall of Fame. You could, but a lot of guards this year are putting it on silver, and that's it. You know, like they're not putting it on anything higher. And that's the same to be said for your shooting centers and your what's it called, your spot ups. Now, obviously, if you guys are like pure sharpshooters, a lot of these don't really apply to you. Like the whole like hot start thing. You got 30 shooting badges. Go ahead, say fuck it. Use 4 on hot start, because if you miss your first shot, you still got 26 to work with. So obviously, there's some exceptions when it comes to the 30 badge players, but I just kind of feel like for the majority of shooting archetypes, it's not like a bad badge to have, but I would not have it on like anything higher than silver, in my opinion, which is why it's just only all right. Very good badge. I've seen a lot of people use it. Not Hall of Fame tier worthy, though. The next one that I'm going to talk about is the good old Ice and Veins, the best badge in NBA 2K21 history, the history of 2K. It's horrible. It's useless. Don't ever use this badge. If I ever see anybody use this badge, I'm not playing with them. The same is to be said with the old Pump Fake Maestro, best badge in the game, baby. But yeah, no, these two badges are terrible. I would never use these badges in my life. I don't think there has ever been a moment where I've thought that Ice and Veins or Pump Fake Maestro will save my life. But yeah, don't use this badge, or don't use these two badges. They're very, very pointless. So the next badge that I want to talk about here is the Volume Shooter badge. Now, this is actually a good badge. This is one of the badges that people use instead of Deadeye. Like I said, if you use like bronze or no Deadeye at all, they use Volume Shooter. Now, the thing is with this badge, the only reason I'm going to put it on the all right category is because people typically with this badge, you're either going to use it on bronze or Hall of Fame. Now, if you're a point guard with like 25 to 30 shooting badges, crank this thing up to GOAT tier. Use it on Hall of Fame. Now, for your archetypes that are going to have like 19 shooting badges, 18 shooting badges, you only really need this on bronze. 2K Labs did a test on it. They did it so that you would essentially... basically the boost, the two highest boosts from your jump shots is actually from bronze and Hall of Fame. So with that being said, obviously if you don't have the badge points or a lot of badge points, but you still want to use Volume Shooter, use it on bronze. If you have the badge points for it, obviously put it on Hall of Fame because that's the best version of the badge. Now, like I said, you're probably going to use this on bronze for a majority of builds other than ones that have an absurd amount of shooting badges. So that's why it's kind of in the all right tier. Honestly, I could move it up to good if I really felt like it, but I just kind of feel like bronze, like being the second best version of a badge, is just all right in my opinion. Still a good badge, but wouldn't use it on Hall of Fame if I didn't have it. So the next badge that I want to talk about is Deep Fades right here. You guys know it's the post fade badge. I'm going to use this, honestly, I'm going to put it in, I'm going to put this one in the horrible / useless, only because post fades aren't the same as what they were last year. And when it comes, usually I make exceptions to badges that have like one archetype that's useful. So in this example, say like post scores. But if you guys have played a post score this year, they don't fade at all. They only post hook from the free throw line. They only rely on the hook. It seems that the post fade this year is dead, and nobody is using it, which is why it is horrible / useless in my opinion. This is way different in 2K20, but for 2K21, I would not recommend using deep fades at all. So the next badge that I want to talk about here, I'm sorry, I just scrolled down like an idiot, is going to be Pick and Popper. Now, this is honestly, in my opinion, a bad badge, in my opinion. So I've experimented with this badge before, recently. There's better badges than it. Obviously, like, Pick and Popper will help your like shots off the pop, but I don't see it outing any other of the badges that are above it. I don't see it being better than Range Extender. I don't see it being better than Hot Zone. Don't see it better than, wow, I can't speak today. I'm sorry. I don't see it being better than any of the badges above it, the 8 badges above it. And I don't think it's very useful, especially because most of the times only shooting centers are going to be using this badge, and I don't think it's very like good at all this year. So yeah, that's why it's like a bad badge. Obviously you can use it, which is why it's bad and not horrible / useless, but I just think there's way better alternatives to having pick and pop around Hall of Fame. So the next badge that I want to talk about here is Tireless. I think it's Tireless Shooter or Tireless Scorer. I don't even remember what it's called. But basically, the whole point of this badge is for stamina. Like, it's gonna negate stamina loss, and so this is again the same. It falls into the same category as Volume Shooter in my opinion, because if you don't really run Deadeye all that much, you typically put it on Tireless Shooter or Volume Shooter. So the reason why, again, it's the same thing as Volume Shooter, it's only alright, is because really only point guards are going to be using this badge. Point guards are the main positions that have issues with stamina consistently throughout the game. You know, there's obviously possessions where your guard has to dribble and dribble and dribble. He's going to lose his stamina. He's got to get up a shot. He's wide open, and then in some cases, your guy will just miss. Your guard will just miss because he's out of stamina, obviously, and your attributes go down when you're out of stamina. But with this badge being on, you're going to negate it. You know, I've seen people use it on silver. I've seen people use it on Hall of Fame. I haven't really seen people use it on bronze. I've seen it usually just silver and above. And it's all right because a lot of other archetypes like shooting centers and spot ups aren't going to use this badge because they don't really have to rely on stamina all that much. Their stamina is not being depleted at a rapid rate compared to a guard, which is why they don't necessarily need it. Still a very good badge. I would recommend a lot of play shots or point guards having this on, but for any other archetype, you don't really need it all that much. If you're not the main scorer or main ball handler, you don't need this badge. The next badge that I'm going to talk about is the Steady Shooter badge. No, I have not seen a lot of gameplay on this. It's honestly bordering between the horrible and useless category and the bad category. I'm going to leave it for now on horrible / useless because I have not seen anybody do the old sharp takeover steady shooter cheese where they just launch the ball at the basket and it goes in and greens it on 100% smothers. Now, shooting, in my opinion, is as hard, like, it's pretty hard as it is. Now, to take a 5% decrease for that on wide open shots just so that you can dick around with sharp takeover, it's not useful. It's not like good in my opinion, which is why, you know, like I said, it's not useful. It's in the useless category. It's a good badge to have fun and dick around with, but I would never use this badge normally, which is why it's horrible / useless. I wouldn't use this badge for any archetype either. Like, it doesn't even matter. You can name an archetype, I would not use it. So the next one that I want to talk about is Green Machine. Now, this one personally it's bordering again between the good. Fuck it, bro. I'm gonna go on. This is a Green Machine is a GOAT category badge. I don't care what y'all say. The only reason I'm saying that is because every single archetype or play, like, you know, your play shot, you got your pure sharps, you got your pure stretches, you got your shooting centers, you got your spot ups. They will max out Green Machine because with I'm pretty sure on Hall of Fame that it kicks in after 1 shot, and I think on any other rarity it's gonna kick in after 2 greens. I could be wrong on that. Don't kill me in the comments section. But yeah, I think that's how that works. You're going to max out this badge no matter what, like, archetype you are. If you're a shooting center, it's going to be on Hall of Fame. If you're a spot up, it's going to be on Gold or Hall of Fame. If you're a play shot, it's going to be on Hall of Fame. If you're a pure sharp, it's going to be on Hall of Fame. If you're a pure stretch, it's going to be on Hall of Fame. It is going to be on Hall of Fame, like, basically if you're able to shoot in green consistently, or whatever the highest amount is. Maybe you only get it on, maybe you only get a gold shooting badges or something like that. But this is going to be maxed out on all your players that can shoot in order to green consistently, and which is why it is in the GOAT category badge. Basically, you can use it for every single archetype. Doesn't matter what you are. Very, very useful badge indeed. The next badge that I'm going to talk about is Slithery Off-Ball. Now, this badge, I'm going to leave it in the bad category only because the only archetype that I see that this badge is very useful for is inside players. So you got your Paint Beasts, that it is a very, very dominant center archetype this year. They only get 1 shooting badge, and usually they put that 1 shooting badge on Slippery Off-Ball so that they can, you know, move quicker off the slips. They can do this. They basically, it just increases their movement when it comes to pick and roll situations. They're really the only archetype that uses it. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen a play shot or a stretch big or a spot up use this badge. I've only seen this badge being used on inside centers, which is why it's bad and not horrible / useless. I personally use it on my inside big too. I used it last year, and I want to get it this year when I get my shooting badge. I'm going to use slippery off ball as well. Wouldn't really use it on anything else, like I said. If you have a paint beast or an inside player that you love to run the pick and roll with, use it on slippery off ball. Use your one shooting badge on slippery off ball. The next one that I'm going to talk about is Clutch Shooter. Now, I personally think that Clutch Shooter is the same category as the Alright or the Hot Start Flexible Release. This is one of those badges that you're not going to go above silver. You know, you're not going to go above silver. I do think that a lot of more archetypes are going to use it. I think that your spot ups, your shooting centers, and your point guards are going to be using this one compared to Hot Start and Flexible Release, but I don't see you guys jacking it all the way up to max. I don't see you guys going above silver. Honestly, I've seen people use it on gold, or not gold, I'm sorry. Just leave it on bronze and that's it. I think it's more of a bronze tier badge. If you like have the extra badges, you can jack it up to silver, but really I've only seen this badge used on bronze on basically every single, like, anything that can shoot really. So that's why it's like in the Alright category and nowhere else really. And the last badge has been heavily debated. It's been nerfed. It's been buffed. I don't know what's going on with this badge. Is going to be difficult shots. Now, if you guys don't know what difficult shots is, I don't know how you don't. It's the fade badge. It's the fade away badge. This badge is very good for guards and guards only. If you are a sharp, a stretch big, or a play shot, this is the badge for you. I'm going to put it in the good category. Before patch, this used to be a GOAT tier badge just off of those 3 archetypes alone of pure sharps, stretches, and play shots. But in my opinion, they did take a nerf. They did take a nerf after patch 3, I think it was. I think fades are down 10% when it comes to make and green percentage, which is why it's still a good badge to have. Obviously, if you know how to time your fades, there are still people out there that know how to time their fades and green them consistently. You are going to want to have this badge on Hall of Fame. Now, you could use it on silver if you still want to have it on, but know that, like, you know, they say the fades are not as good as they once were. You can leave it on silver, but like, you know, silver to Hall of Fame, pretty good badge. A lot of guards, stretches, and pure sharps are going to use this badge, like I said. And that's every single shooting badge in NBA 2K21, guys. There's nothing new added. The only thing that I have here, honestly, if you guys want to see it, is Quick Draw. But, you know, it's not in the game this year, so it's not really all that important. So I'm going to leave it on horrible / useless. But that's going to be the video for you guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. You guys seem to like my tier lists. Those videos typically do well on my channel, and hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. If you guys show love on this one like you guys did to the other 2, I will be sure to make a playmaking badge one. But let me know down in the comment section down below if you guys want to see the playmaking badge one, because I can easily do one of those for you guys. It's not hard to make one of these videos, but it is very informational, and I love making videos that you guys want to watch. You guys are gonna, like, you know, click, tell your friends about, stuff like that. So, like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with those post notifications if you guys are new to the channel. And also follow my Twitter, which will be down in the description, to always keep up with me and the channel. It's been your boy Screens, and I'm out. Peace.